Listen up, because the noise surrounding our Houston Texans has reached a deafening roar that we simply cannot ignore. We are standing at a franchise-defining crossroads right now. On one side, the front office is making calculated, strategic moves to fortify the trenches, signaling a long-term vision of dominance. But on the other side, there is a shadow looming over NRG Stadium, a narrative so volatile it threatens to shake the very foundation of this organization. We are talking about the security of the most important asset we have. You need to hear this.
Let's start with the hard facts, because this is the foundation we are building on. Sources confirmed today that the Houston Texans have officially re-signed offensive lineman Jared Kingston to a one-year deal. This move prevents him from hitting the market as an exclusive rights free agent. Now, purely from a transactional standpoint, this is a smart, low-risk maneuver. Kingston provides immediate depth, he knows the system, and he gives the coaching staff insurance along the interior. We know injuries happen in this league, and having a guy who can step in without blinking is valuable. But let me tell you what this really means, because you have to look deeper than just a depth chart transaction. This is about philosophy. You do not re-sign offensive linemen unless you are terrified of your quarterback getting hit. You keep guys like Kingston because you are trying to build a wall. A wall. And why do you need a wall? Because you have a prized jewel behind center that needs protection at all costs. It shows me that Nick Caserio is looking at every single roster spot and saying, we cannot afford a single leak, not one. But here's where I get skeptical. Is Jared Kingston enough? No. He is a piece, but he is not the solution. He is a band-aid on a bullet wound if the starters go down. We need dominance, not just depth. The Texans are telling us they value continuity, but continuity means nothing if the talent ceiling isn't high enough to win the AFC South. It is a necessary move, but let's not pretend it moves the needle for a Super Bowl run. It is a maintenance move. It keeps the lights on. But are we trying to just keep the lights on, or are we trying to electrify the stadium? This signing is the appetizer, folks. It is the bread on the table. But looking at the bigger picture, you have to wonder if this minor move is actually a smokescreen for a much more drastic overhaul coming to the offensive line. Because what I'm seeing in the draft projections suggests the front office knows Kingston isn't the final answer right now.
If you want the truth about what is happening behind closed doors in Houston, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. We don't sugarcoat anything here. Join the community and stay ahead of the game.
Speaking of overhauls, the Vandermock 1.0 has dropped, and it is screaming one word at us: protection. The projections have our Texans selecting Alabama's Caden Proctor in the first round and Oregon's Emmanuel Pregnon in the second. Let's break this down with absolute precision. Proctor is a massive human being, a road grader who brings that SEC pedigree to the tackle or guard spot. Then you double down with Pregnon, an interior mauler. This is not subtle. This is the organization shouting from the rooftops that the trenches are the priority. They are looking to draft heavy, physical talent to ensure that whoever is playing quarterback has all day to throw. It aligns perfectly with the Kingston signing, but on a much higher level of talent investment. Schematically, this makes perfect sense. You win in the trenches, period. But let me switch gears and talk to you real for a second. If you draft 2 offensive linemen in the first 2 rounds, you are making a statement that your current line is broken. You are admitting failure in previous years. You are saying, we are desperate to fix this mess. And I love the aggression. I love the idea of bringing in young, hungry wolves to protect the house. But here is the problem. You can draft all the linemen you want. You can build the Great Wall of China in Houston, but it only matters if the general standing behind that wall is secure. We assume these picks are to protect our franchise savior. We assume this is all for CJ Stroud. That is the logical conclusion, right? You build the line to protect the king. But what if I told you that the very ground beneath the king's feet is shaking? What if all this protection is being built, but the man they are supposed to protect might not even be there to enjoy it? Because while we are obsessing over guards and tackles, there is a rumor circulating that is so wild, so controversial, it makes these draft picks look like trivial footnotes in a much larger story.
This is where things get uncomfortable, and frankly, it makes my blood boil just thinking about it. Reports are surfacing that trade rumors involving CJ Stroud are gaining traction among league circles. Now, before you lose your mind, let's look at the facts. Insider analysis suggests that despite the noise, these discussions are being viewed with extreme caution. The rational view is that Stroud is the absolute pillar of the Houston Texans. He is the face, the arm, and the heart of the franchise. The organization has shown no public intention of moving him, and logic dictates you do not trade a young elite quarterback unless you have lost your mind. It sounds like offseason fodder, right? Just bored analysts trying to stir the pot. But let's stop being naive for a second. Where there is smoke, there is usually a fire burning somewhere. Why is his name even coming up? Why are teams reportedly calling? You don't call about Patrick Mahomes because you know the answer is no. If teams are calling about Stroud, it means they think there is a sliver of a chance. And that thought alone is terrifying. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, the front office is looking at his market value and calculating a return that could reset the franchise for a decade. It is disrespectful. It is blasphemous. CJ Stroud came in here and changed the culture overnight. He gave this city hope when we were drowning in mediocrity. And now we are hearing whispers of a trade? Even if it is exaggerated, the fact that the conversation exists is an insult to what he has accomplished. But we have to ask ourselves, is this just idle gossip, or is there a legitimate strategic pivot happening behind the curtain? Because as much as we want to dismiss this as nonsense, the intensity of these reports is not fading away. It is getting louder. It is getting more specific. And when you hear what the analysts are saying about the potential restructuring of the team, you realize this might not be a joke at all right now.
The volume on these Stroud trade rumors has just been turned up to an 11, and it is time to panic. New reports indicate a significant increase in the intensity of discussions regarding a Stroud blockbuster. We are moving past idle speculation into the realm of legitimate debate within the league's inner circles. The narrative shifting is this. Analysts are beginning to outline scenarios where the Texans use Stroud's astronomical market value to execute an aggressive, total restructuring of the roster. We are talking about a haul of draft picks and players that would rival the Herschel Walker trade. From a cold, calculating management perspective, selling high on a player to build a super team everywhere else is a strategy that exists on paper. It is the ultimate Moneyball move. But let me tell you something right now. This is the most ridiculous, preposterous idea I have ever heard in my life. You do not trade a franchise quarterback. You do not trade the one thing that is hardest to find in professional sports. I don't care if you get 10 first-round picks. If you don't have the quarterback, you don't have a chance. This is insanity. If the Houston Texans actually pull the trigger on this, they are betraying every fan who bought a jersey. They are betraying the locker room. They are saying that spreadsheets matter more than leadership. Stroud is not just a player. He is the identity of this team. To treat him like a stock asset to be liquidated for parts is an affront to the game of football. This debate shouldn't even be happening. It should be shut down immediately by the owner. But the silence is deafening right now. The fact that these rumors are intensifying instead of dying out tells me that someone, somewhere in that building, is actually looking at the numbers and considering the unthinkable. And if they do this, if they actually trade CJ Stroud, burn it all down, because you are trading away a championship window for a box of mystery tickets. This is the defining moment for this entire football regime.
This is a pivotal moment in Texans history. We have a front office reinforcing the offensive line with Kingston and projected top-tier draft picks like Proctor and Pregnon, building a fortress for a quarterback. But simultaneously, we have a growing storm of rumors suggesting that quarterback might be sold to the highest bidder. Far from over. We are watching the soul of this franchise being weighed on a scale. Stay tuned, because the next move changes everything.